Okay, so the thing is a thing. The gradient field seems to pretty much work, and I think that with the gradient editor should come a G field. I'll just stick it here. I suppose it's kind of, what is it really? It's not really part of this. It's more like color request target. G color. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's sort of halfway between these things. I don't know. G field. Gradient field. And it'll get created with the other things. Okay. If not gset return. Don't get distracted. I'll start with new. Okay. So G field equals u gradient field well, I've forgotten what it is. It's the edit panel, but also it's going to have to be updated with the resize, finish resize. But anyway, what am I thinking about columns? I think I'll make 10 by 10 just to see. Now, I need to do a finish draw and a finish resize. In fact, I'm a little bit surprised that I do have a finish draw, don't I here? Only got... Well, I don't do any, I suppose, yeah, there's no special things to do in so far, except now. Can't remember what finish draw structure is. Arg. Right, give me GUI, give me Jing's zone. No, none of these things have it anymore. Icon, did icon have it? Finish draw and finish resize, void, override. Right, should have been obvious. I think I perceive a problem. In fact, yeah, there's definitely a problem here. This is the finish draw for the edit panel or something. Yeah, this is no good. It's all very well for me to draw for me to draw it in the gadget, in the gradient button gadget, where I have control over exactly what gets drawn next, but not here. This is quite different. In fact, I need a new gadget. That's fine. I'll do this differently. So, down here, I won't have G field. I'll have Well, I will, but it'll be a gradient gadget. And that will be set up. You know, it should really go in place of the edit panel. It's just going to be a panel. What's this color zone? Oh yeah, okay, it should be in the place of the color zone. Zone has corner panel, horizontal zone, horizontal adds. Okay, yeah. So it should be in color zone. And how will I make it? I think that instead of color zone I will set up G field. In fact, I will make color zone a gradient gadget. And I'll define the gradient gadget just down here, but let me think for a moment. Yeah. I'm going to leave it called color zone because I'm so lazy I can't be bothered changing a bunch of things, but inside here, edit panel, color zone equals new gradient zone. And that's pretty much how it'll be. Inside response. Oops, you don't exist no more. Color response. I had to check something here. Set target color, right? Yeah. And it's there that I will want. Did it get? It does update edit panel. Right. Yeah. So in update edit panel, what was that little red line for? Oh yeah, that's fine. In update edit panel, I know there's loads of problems here. At the end of all things, I want to say color zone update. What is it? What did I call it everywhere else? Because it's going to be somewhere something similar. It's going to be something like set gradient. And I think this is gset. Yeah. Okay, my color zone gadget, which is actually a gradient gadget, and it will belong here, somewhere around here. Snap request. What have I got down there? Snap request, color request, gradient button, gradient field. Okay, this isn't a good place for gradient field, but what the heck. Class gradient gadget extends gadget. And now what does it have? It's got a G field, gradient field, and it has a new. There's a method new. Pair gadget equals null, and yeah, x float equals 0.0, y float equals 0.0, width float equals minus 1.0, height float equals minus 1.0, and this is pretty much just a panel, so I'm feel like I know what a panel does, and this is it. Yeah, except this is even simpler than a panel. It's this. It's this where that C thing equals blank, cos D blank. Cos D blank, and all these are 0. Okay. Let me make absolutely sure that is correct. Yep, I don't do any of these things. I just want a totally blank. Okay. But G field, G field with new gradient field self face width, comma self face height, comma, oh, I will need to say columns int equals 2 and rows int equals 2, and columns and rows, and I will need a finish resize and a finish draw. And finish draw, I will say G field, oops, hang on a sec, override, and I say draw self face left, oops, left, sorry, my phone makes a sound, and I bet it's just somebody twitching. Nope. Oh. Okay, sorry. I will attend to that in a moment. Self face left, self face top, and that's it for that. And in resize, oops, that's a bit silly of me, that, and in resize I say G field set size self face width and self side. Finish draw. Oh, right. Yeah. That's for a pointless purpose, sort of not. Oops, yeah, okay. Here I am. Okay. Right, so that's a gradient gadget, and I also need a method set gradient void. I should really be calling these things set gradient set, but here I am. G field set gradient. Oops. Gradient G. So let's go, baby. How many errors did I make? Okay. that zone. Quite right. Gradient gadget. I expect a crash, but I don't mind. How am I doing? Oh me. No. So I'm kind of expecting this just to work. The resizing bit of it's fairly straightforward. The drawing bit of it can't think what mistakes I'm making. Check it out. Yeah, I think you can sort of see the way it's drawing it. It's not too unobvious, but... Oh, I don't update. Oh, I do update it. I forgot that I coded it to do that. Okay, so... And this updates. So, that's good. This is more or less, you know, I would prefer it if the buttons were a sort of consistent size, but it's not the end of the world. 10? That looked like 10, I suppose. Yeah, maybe. It's doing what it can, I guess. Maybe I will just quickly try it with more. It took a... It basically went with a default there, didn't it? What am I looking for? Gradient gadget. Oh. Yeah, 2 and 2. So in gradient editor, where I say the gradient gadget gets made, which is here, I can then say 10, 10. I'll have a look at it then. I'm not expecting the extra detail to do a huge amount to disguise the slightly fact that I don't know the best way to draw. Quads. No, look, it's quite considerably worse, and that is interesting. The final part of it is getting the start again, and it really shouldn't be. That's really interesting. So I have to look at the bit of code, and the bottom of it is getting the top. Incroyable. Okay. That is not as it should be, and I have a feeling that the only reason this isn't doing it is because it's too low res. It looked low res the other before. Let me just beef that up quite a bit more. 20, 30, yeah, 30, 30. Give this a moment. Okay, sorry, getting distracted again. Yeah, so actually I can see that I am able to get a pretty damn smooth background gradient, but obviously I need to sort this quite a bit, but that's okay. It's not, this probably explains, well, it doesn't explain anything to do with my problem with the rendering. I kind of like that, though, sort of. I don't like the fact it's making an error. I'll fix it and stop it making an error, but the generalness of it, I'll just stick a thing like this right in the middle. Oops, stick a thing like this right in the middle and get a big old glow. Interesting. Really interesting to see the results of it in real time. Now, I have to do a tiny thing, but I won't upload this. I'm going to be back. And here I am immediately back, without any time passing at all. Now, why is it that I have an issue at the right and the bottom? One place I'd kind of like to start is with the gradient field itself. It's basically in gradient field or gradient set. It's not impossible that it's here where I'm actually setting up the colors. Like if I just do color x equals g limit color x, I'm pretty sure that a g limit defaults 0 to 1, and I just now say color y equals g limit color y. Just to see if it's if there's some sort of problem in my logic here. There could well be. Yeah, there is. There was indeed, and I should really fix it. And I will soon. Will I? I suppose I will. Let me have a quick look and see if it's easy, because honestly, like when it was going off the bottom and coming on the top, really it should be able to read 0. So like you just get the calculator. Let's see. I wonder if some little bit of floating point inaccuracy does. Like, say there were 3 columns, or say 3 rows, sorry. 1.0 divided by 3 gives that, which I'd expect. Where's the memory? I don't really understand how to use the memory on this. Anyway, 1.0 minus that equals that, minus that, 1, 2, three. Oh no, damn it. I lost it. Sorry, my concentration got broken by, I was thinking, what actually is doing the counting here? It's going to rows plus 1. So yeah, 1.0 minus memory recall equals 1, 2, did it work at all? Equal to or greater than rows plus 1. So it started at 0, then went to, so rows is 3, so by the time it's equal to 4, right, so it goes up to 3. So it does 0, and 1, and 2, and 3. And so it starts at 1 when it's at 0. Yeah, then it goes down to that when it's at 1. Then that when it's at 2. Then that when it's at 3. And it does it the third time, and the fourth time it goes on. Let me see. So I wish it was kind of clearer to me, like what I had just done. But yeah, so like starting from 1, then down to 2/3, then down to 1/3, then down to 0. And here I want to kind of make this not the same as this. I want to make this if color y is less than 0.0, color y equals 0.0, just to be totally sure. And here I want to say if color x is greater than 1.0, color x equals 1.0. I really don't see how it should be leaking over, to be honest. Well, the same effect. It always shocks me that I've just added 1800 triangles to the display. I think 30 times 30 is 900. I think, yeah, 3 times 3, 9 times, yeah, times 100. So is this really working? The thing that would be most pleasing about it really being working is that, well, the thing that's pleasing about me saying taking the range 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, even if my sums were wrong last time, and I will put that down to some sort of floating point in accuracy, because I do not know how that was possibly wrong, but even if they were wrong last time, and look at that, now these things line up. I hate. No, I don't hate, but actually I bet I know why. I have to take the integer of them before I draw them on. It's an interesting thing that actually, and I should probably bear it in mind with many of the things that I'm drawing on relative to gadgets like this. The text is a special case. Anyway, what I want to do is take this and store it because I don't have a white, but okay. And there it is. This I could probably, I could maybe add some more detail to this because there's not much detail in that little thing, but then, no, there isn't. That's true. It's just it doesn't get much detail. But on the whole, I think that is fine. And now I again have to resist the temptation to just play with it. But I wonder if there is, I will have to have a think about some way of that little button has a hard time displaying all those things. It's really stretched out. I should give it more columns because it's so stretched out. In fact, why don't I just, out of curiosity, try that? Inside gradient button. I won't give it many. In fact, I'll give it 6, and I'll actually reduce this down to 3. 6 columns. Yeah. It's only a little bit more. Still like 6 times 3, 18. Still another 32 triangles added just to draw that tiny little thing. But, so. Didn't really help that much, but I think it's going to do. So, what I have to do is, I really have to get this thing under control, because until I can save gradients separately, which I will do very soon, I can never be bothered completely removing a project, because making up the gradients again is such a pain, even just for demonstration purposes. And I always end up going wild with these things. Like, that's still a huge... If I open this, I can see scale is 4.5, so look at that also. My close button on the render options is a few pixels too short. Must check. So this really should be like a quarter its size or something. Quarter its length, and who knows where the actual axis is. Anyway, I'm going to get it under control down here, and then I am going to think about the next thing, because that has been another 12 minutes, taking me just over half an hour, and I'm pretty pleased with the way it looks. I'm pleased with this, I'm pleased with this. I could play with these things for a long time. Cute. So, I need to create in the very simplest way, and it really will just be by sampling the top and bottom of the gradient set, dependent on the time through the animation. No, well, maybe not the top and bottom, but it might sample the top and bottom and then select a color of, like, scale the top down a lot, so that what you see on the screen as things add up is something that approaches the top color of the gradient, but it still is not going to look anything like it. It'll miss any detail you have along the gradient, and it will saturate itself really quickly. So, bearing that in mind, it's what I'm going to be doing next time.